this is an episode of Manya in Melbourne, and today I'm going to tell you about the major differences we have in Canada and in Australia in the terms of education, living expenses, PR and everything, and I hope this video will help you choose the best country for you. So let's get started. If you guys don't know me, my name is Manya and I'm currently pursuing Bachelor of Nursing from University, Australia. Life has been pretty good in Australia till now, so stay tuned till the end to know why I personally choose Australia over Canada. So the first step that is required to get a visa of any country is the documentation. The documentation is pretty similar for both the countries. You have to give your academic profile, your financial documents and give a PT or IELTS exam. The major difference that you can see in both the countries is that you have to show funds in Australia, whereas in Canada you have to pay off your GIC, which is a fixed certain amount. The funds can depend on your study expenses, the living expenses, and can vary for everybody. Another difference I have to tell you between Australia and Canada is that for applying a visa in Canada, you have to give your passport to the embassy for applying the visa, whereas Australia grants you an e-visa or the electronic visa that you can get in few hours, minutes or even in seconds. I personally got my visa in an hour, so it entirely depends upon your luck and your profile. The next thing I would like to discuss is the quality of education. The quality of education is good in both the countries depending on their own ways. You can apply for a degree program, a diploma in colleges or universities in Canada, but in Australia you only have the option of going in a uni. You can always choose to stay in a college after you arrive in Australia, but for getting your visa you have to apply in a uni and select a uni for yourself that will suit you. Another major difference is the duration of course in Canada and in Australia. Personally, I think in this one Australia wins over Canada. Because if you're coming for an undergraduate course, your course duration will be around 3 or slightly more. But in Canada, it is about 4 years. And the same goes for the postgraduate course. It is about 2 or 2.5 years here in Australia. And Canada, it is more. So personally, I think it will be a wise decision if you choose Australia in terms of this, because you'll be holding the same degree after the end of your course, which will take you a little less time. And time is very precious, you guys. Now coming up on the intakes, both Australia and Canada has 3 intakes. In Australia it is the February intake, the July intake and the November intake. The February intake is the biggest and the main intake. In Canada it is the January intake, the May intake and the September intake. The September intake in Canada is the main one. So the next point is your expenses, which is obviously an important criteria on the basis of which you choose a country for yourself. So the first one is the tuition expenses. In Canada, the cost of education is slightly more affordable and cheaper than in Australia. It is around $10,000 to $30,000 per year, depending upon the course you choose and whether you are deciding to go in a university or a college. If you decide to go in a college, it is slightly more cheaper because universities are more expensive, rather it be in Canada or in Australia. Coming in Australia, the Australian universities charge slightly more than the Canadian universities. The cost of fees here in Australia is around $15,000 to $33,000 per year, which is a little expensive to be honest. Now talking about the pay rate, in Australia the average pay rate is around $21 to $22 per hour, whereas in Canada it is $15 to $16 per hour. When we talk about the living expenses, I know it is slightly higher in Australia, but it's the same thing you guys, because you are earning more in Australia, so the expenses are pretty affordable automatically for you. So the next thing on the list is the PR. I know it's very important for everyone that you get a PR in a country where you are going. So I think in this one personally Canada wins, because in Canada you can get your PR in 3 to 4 years, whereas in Australia you get your PR in 5 to 8 years, which is slightly more difficult. But if you're working hard and consistently, you can surely get a PR here in Australia as well. So guys, last but not the least is the weather condition. It is also an important criteria when you're choosing a country for yourself. So as you guys all know, in Canada, the conditions are pretty harsh and cold. In some of the months, the temperature also reaches up to minus 5 to 7 degrees, which is pretty harsh. So personally, I think that surviving in Canada is pretty much difficult than in Australia. Talking about Australia, here you can see all the 4 seasons. It's neither too hot, neither too cold, so the temperature is pretty bearable and you can survive easily over here. So guys, these were all the major differences that I think were between Australia and Canada. I hope I covered all the points. So personally, I choose Australia over Canada because of some of the advantages we have over here, like the coast duration, the weather conditions and the quality of life. Personally, I think every country is good in its own way. It depends on you, that what you want from the country and what are your goals for your future. So guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you for tuning till the end. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, stay safe and sound. And guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon as well. Lots of love from Melbourne. Yay! I don't know.